And hello there everybody, it is Ramus181 here, and this is another episode of the Bumble's Hollow Minecraft series. So, you probably know that we just received a new version of Minecraft in 1.16, that would be the Nether update, and spent a couple of days installing it. I tested it on a private world just to take a look at some of the new features, but this is my first time in this world, so what we're going to do is go and just take a look around in there. There's a few things that we want to do in the Nether. I'm still woefully unprepared for the new Nether update, so I'll probably not use a lot of the new Nether features yet. But what we are going to do today is set up our villager trading center. And I also want to see about getting an iron farm set up. There's some new mechanics to that came with the 1.16 update that make it a little bit easier to be able to use an iron farm or to create an iron farm. And so we're going to set that up today. So why don't we go and take a look around in the Nether just a little bit and see what it looks like in there. I'm going to get my my Nether portal set up over at the other location, and then we'll get those builds started and hopefully complete by the end of this episode. So let's get started on that. This is my first time into the Nether in this world, so let's go and take a look at what we've got here. Okay, so we've got one of the new hoglins over there. I've seen a few videos here, and those things are pretty nasty. Got one of those blue biomes, and one of those red biomes, and then we've got just the the Nether wastes. Okay. Alright, so, I mean, the very first thing that I'm going to do is just get that Nether portal set up. Okay, so it looks like I've found the right spot for my Nether portal here. So let's see if this links up. Success! There's a link right back. Yes, it does. Alright, so we've got our Nether portal created. So in all honesty, I am not really prepared to go and spend too much time in the Nether here. Think that I could get into a lot of trouble if I do. Probably end up dying horribly and losing all of my good stuff. For now, I'm just going to head back into the overworld, and we're going to start working on putting together that villager trading center. Alright, so I think I've got everything I need for building a villager trading hall. I have been looking at a number of different designs on YouTube, and some of them are of interest and some of them are not. Not one of them actually seemed quite right for me, so I'm going to try testing a couple of different designs and see what I can find here. So that's the basic mechanism right there. Really simple. So we have a lever. Villager will stand right here, and we'll lock onto this workstation. They'll stand right there because we're going to block them in to make sure that they don't actually go anywhere. And any villagers that happen to get out on this side will not be able to lock onto these because in between each of these we'll have some walls in place so that they can't pathfind to the side here. And this little trick with the carpets here means that they can't pathfind to it from the front. So I am going to build up a whole bunch of these. I'm going to do 8 on each side, and then I'll show you the rest. Okay, so it took a little bit of work, but I now have room for 4 farmers and 4 stonecutters. I've got everything set up so that we can actually start getting the villagers in here. What'll end up happening is they'll end up dropping into these spots here, and they'll get their profession. And then what we can do is, once I've actually got all of these full, then I can put a zombie in here, name tag him, close him up, and all of these villagers, they're going to have a fairly high price on all of their items. So all I'll do is lower their floor, and the zombie's going to come over here and he's going to see tasty villager, and he's going to munch on him and turn him into a zombie villager, at which point I raise him back up and I cure him, and he's got a much lower price. So eventually we're going to get all of their prices down to 1, and it'll be really nice. Of course, I've only done this side. I've got that side still to do, but the first thing I figured I'd do is test this and make sure that it works. This design is similar to a couple of different villager breeders that I've seen on YouTube, but not exactly. So I get to check to see if I did a decent job here. So I guess the next step at this point is bring my villagers over here. Alright, so with a lot of work, I managed to get 8 of these dudes into my villager trading hall. And the other thing that I managed to do is I have myself a little zombie here. Got a name tag for him and everything. He's Johnny Rotten. And I am going to be grabbing a potion center thingy. You know what I'm talking about. I need to make some potions of weakness, and I need to make some golden apples, and then I'll just start lowering these guys down so that our friendly Mr. Zombie here can help change their minds about their prices, because I don't know about you, but I find that only 10 bricks for 10 whole clay for 1 emerald, that's just too much. And this guy wants 26 potatoes for 1 emerald, and I'm thinking that that's extortion. So we're we're going to offer them some, protection from the things that we're going to do to them if they don't give us lower prices. So I am going to go and make a brewing stand, and we're going to start on changing these guys' minds, and then we're going to start doing the same thing on the other side here. So with a lot of work, I now have a villager trading hall. They're very noisy. So I've got 16 different villagers in here. And I've got 4 farmers. I've got 4 stonecutters. I've got 4 armorers, I believe they are. Toolsmiths, I'm sorry. And then we have 4 librarians. And this took me several days to build, because I had no idea how to build a villager trading hall. But I managed to get it done. And I've got a couple of zombies trapped in here. As you can see, he's a happy little zombie, and because there's no line of sight between their eyes, that zombie doesn't go and attack all of my villagers. You'll also notice that those zombies are carrying a block of dirt. So, one thing that I learned from Tango on the Hermitcraft server is that when you have a zombie that picks up a block, they don't despawn, so you don't even need name tags for this. All you do is, spawn a whole bunch of zombies and start throwing down dirt blocks, and some of them will eventually pick it up. And then you can drag them to wherever it is that you need them and lock them up, and they do your bidding. One of the things that I realized that I was running really short on when I was building this, I needed iron. And I had to make several trips down into different cave systems to track down some train tracks and blocks of iron and get everything smelted. And it was just... it wasn't as much fun as it could have been. What I realized I need now is to actually build an iron golem farm. The mechanics of that actually changed with the 1.16 update. And I think that my next step here, before I do anything else, is to set up an iron farm. So we're going to do that probably over here. And I'll give you an idea of what my plans are at this point. The first thing that I need is that iron farm, and I'll put it over here somewhere. And then I'm going to need food items like potatoes and carrots and bread and beetroots and things like that I can trade with my villager trading center over there. And that'll give me all the emeralds that I need for my library books and the blocks that I'm going to be getting from my stone cutter. And that'll be a really important part of this project here. Okay, so I have found a good location for my iron farm. I've taken a look on YouTube to see if there's an iron farm that I liked the design of, and a lot of them seem to be of the opinion that you either go big or go home. And while I love, big iron farms, I don't feel that I actually need one. I need something that produces a decent amount, but not, insane levels. So I'm thinking that what I'll do is build it about this size. I'll have villagers there, I'll have a zombie there, and I'll have more villagers there, and I'll have their assorted beds and things like that. And then we'll put in a a spawning platform for the iron golems, and it'll be simple and quick. So I'm gonna go sleep, and then I'm just going to get started on designing something of my own. Okay, so after a lot of work, again, that seems to be a common theme here, I have now got a working iron farm. Thought I'd give you a little bit of a tour as to what's going on here. With the new 116 dynamics, you've got just 3 regular villagers up there, and anytime they see my zombie, which goes up and down every 30 seconds or so, they will spawn a new iron golem. Now, it doesn't happen every time he pops up, but often enough that I get a decent amount here. So, I mean, let's take a look here. I mean, I've already got 2 stacks, and that's in about half an hour worth of watching this. Yeah, see, pops in the two new iron golems. He should be dropping down. He'll do that once in a while, and not quite sure what causes him to stick up there, but it doesn't slow things down enough for it to matter to me. And our zombie pops up and down just using a simple etho hopper clock. You can search for those. They've been around for ages, and yeah, it just pops that thing up and down every 30 seconds or so, and we get a new set of iron golems. So that's going to help me out immensely. And I suppose I'll also show you what's going on in here. This is pretty simple as well. I've got everything flows into there. The iron golems generally drop down into here, and then they get caught in the lava, they burn to death, they die, and everything gets dropped into here. Still working on spawn proofing a few places. These guys seem to be able to spawn iron golems a little bit further out than I was expecting. This is my episode for today, for this week. This actually took me a lot longer than I was expecting here. We got a villager trading center built, and that taught me just how much I desperately needed to have some more iron, because I kept running out of tracks here and everything else that requires iron. So I built the iron farm, and yeah, this working with villagers absolutely sucks. The amount of work that it takes to get villagers and zombies where you want them is absolutely insane, and I think maybe drove me a little bit insane. Now that it's done, I'm really happy with it. I will clean things up a little bit around here and make them look prettier in the future. But for right now, I'm going to sign off. And next week, we're going to start making things a little bit easier for building my mega base. I need a lot of quartz, and my villagers should provide some of that. And I'm thinking that I'm going to start using the piglin trading mechanics and get some more quartz out of that. So that's going to require a gold farm and a piglin bartering center, and I've been seeing a lot of that, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to do that without dying a whole lot. in the nether. Thanks for following, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and hit the like button if you think this was a decent episode. Next week we should have Optifine back, and we should have the replay mod so that I can make some really cool time lapses instead of just showing you what stuff looks like after I've built it. So, thanks again. See you next time.